this is what they are. And how do you know that there's three heavens? Scripture says. Remember when John was writing and he said, I was called up to the third heaven? He was called up to the third heaven where God is. And whenever you start, how you go back into the teaching in Genesis, it talks about the firmaments of heaven. The first firmament is where the clouds are, where birds fly. That's from the earth to the atmosphere. Right? That's the first heaven. That's the first heaven. The second heaven is from that point, when you go out of the atmosphere, outer space where the planets are. That's the second heaven. The third heaven is where God is. Satan was only cast out of the third heaven. The Bible teaches that his throne is in the second heaven. We think Satan's throne's in hell. It's not. It's in the second heaven right now. That's where he dwells. That's how. And how do we know that? Because that's where, remember when Daniel was praying for 21 days? And whenever that angel come down, he said he had to fight through the Prince of Persia, all that stuff to get there. Satan and his angels was trying to intercept. They didn't care about that angel coming to you. They don't care about you praying. What they're trying to receive, they're trying to intercept your answer. That's what they're trying to say. But as far as hell's got the same categories. There's different levels of hell. There's different levels of torment. And how we understand that is by the words that's used. In some place, in some place it calls, like the Valley of Gehenna. That's where the dead bodies was, the rotten is, all that stuff. Kind of like the grave is considered a hell. And then it goes into some deeper Greek words where it talks about the center of the earth and all that stuff. A lot of us think hell is just a big ball of fire. No. Because, remember in the end time, it says that heaven and earth is going to pass away and all that stuff. And then that's when everything's going to be cast into the lake of fire. Hell and all that is going to be cast into the lake of fire. But the way we understand it is it's different levels. There are different torments, and how that works out is that there's different stages of demons. Some of them has more power, some of them has more authority, some of them has more strength. And how do we know that? Scripture says, remember the disciples who go around and they was casting out, it said even the devils was subject unto it. But then all of a sudden, here come this little boy, and the disciples couldn't cast him out. But when Jesus got there, he casted him out. The disciples said, why couldn't we do it? He said, this kind only comes by fasting and praying. It was a little stronger than the other ones that they dealt with. That's how come we know that there's different ranks. Just like in an army. Just like we have archangels and we have the warrior angels, we have messenger angels, we have those type of angels. Same stuff in the demonic realm. Some of them have more strength than others. Some of them has the build strength. And what happens is whenever we have demonic influence, and we say demonic influence, I'm talking about whenever you start having those thoughts of suicide and you start having those depression start to push you in, that's demonic influence. And how do we give them access? By flirting with it. You know what I mean? Like saying, I'm not taking. And what that does is that opens up a window and it lets it in. And once it gets in and it starts manipulating and your faith begins to get weak and you start to, that's when more can come in. And how do we know that's the truth? Scripture says that whenever they casted it out, it said it walked through dry places and come back and found the house swept and garnished and brought 7 more in, more wickeder than itself. That means it's coming back in. and it's bringing more and more wicked. See, and that's how we know that there's different ranks in the demons. Because if there wasn't different ranks and different strength in the demons, how could it bring 7 more wicked than itself? There got to be some levels of strength. There got to be some levels of that. And that's how we know that there's different levels in Scripture that tells us that hell has got different layers of torment. Because if we're just dealing with those little demons that don't have a whole lot of power, that's the ones that know to do right and don't and still go to hell. The ones that's good people, but they still go to hell, they get dealt with that way. The ones that say, I'm a good person, I don't have to confess salvation, I don't have to give my heart. But anyway, and then the ones that kill, steal, and destroy, they go get dealt with by the harsher, more wicked demons. Right? That's the kind of stuff that gets deep teaching. That goes into when we have to take the words, like where it says hell, where it says grave, and where it says Gehenna, and all those words, that's when we have to get down to the root, what it means. Right? Because they mean different. It comes from a different root word out of the original text. That's when it gets real deep.
Yeah.
But either way, it's all getting cast into the lake of fire.
When Jesus comes back, right?
When Jesus comes back. Mm-hmm. But this, if you want me to show you how that works real quick, that's at the after the Battle of Armageddon. That's after all that stuff. That's when he comes back, makes war, conquers, rules, and reigns for 1,000 years. Then said that great angel stand and said it'd be time no more. That's when it gets cast in. That's when it gets. And then that's when you spend eternity in hell or you spend eternity in heaven. One of the two. There ain't no. There's no more hope. As long as you're breathing, as long as you still can walk around on this earth, taking breath, there's hope. But once you die, there's no more hope. If you die in this life, there's no more hope. Your fate's already sealed. But now is when you got to make a decision.